Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, so this video I'm gonna do talk about classification of finite abelian group. Okay, so this is somehow like very complicated. This is actually to prove is somehow like very technical, slightly technical compared to all the previous one. I will just try to sketch it, but yeah, hopefully most of the detail will be you get the idea. Okay, so let me just write down results. So simply speaking, if G is so it has let's say two part. So let's say G is a finite abelian, and the first part is that you can write G in terms of the direct sum of each GP. This is called the P group. So P group is a group with P to the K for some prime. So and the P is distinct. So simply speaking, you take any abelian, then you will simply can be break into different direct sum of each prime power. For example, if you have abelian which is 30, and it's 2, 3, 5, then G must isomorphic to that for G2 direct sum G3 direct sum G5, and then each one of them are like so this is the group with order 2 and order 3. This is order 5. So in this case that we know the group with prime order, the group with prime order must be cyclic. So this is Z2. I use a short notation Z2, Z3, and Z5. Or sometimes people use this. Okay, maybe I use this. It will be simpler. Okay, and this for example, if G is 12, then you can write it 4 times 3. So G will isomorphic to some G4 times G3. And there are two cases. One is Z2 cross Z2. This is Z4. This is proved by using the, yeah, okay. So this is Z3. So total you have two different abelian group. So this is very tricky. Okay, and the secondary. So the second part. The second part is the most technical part is that each P group is a direct sum of cyclic. Okay, so basically, if this is G4, then it's always can be break into direct sum cyclic, so either Z2 times Z2 or Z4. So you have ZPA1, ZPA2, ZPA3, ZPAK. Okay, so this is the okay. So this is the results. Okay, so this is the direct sum of cyclic. So yeah, so this is ZPA1, ZPA2, ZPA3 up to ZPAK. We'll use this. Okay, so to prove, this part is much more difficult. And the first part is simple. So let me just prove the first part first. So I want to make it simpler. So let's say G has only two primes. So it's G is P to the A and Q to the B. Okay, and okay, so I want to say that this is can be break into the group of GP1 and times GP2. Okay, so just recall the direct product, the direct product lemma, direct product, or the direct. I think it's called direct sum. I think maybe some people got direct product in the finite abelian group, but the idea is say that if you have a group G where AB is a subgroup, both normal subgroup of G, and AB equals to G and AB intersection is identity, so this is the first condition. Second condition, this is normal, and third condition is that let's say A B equals to BA for every A in A, then for B in B, then this can immediately prove the following, that I think I proved this before, that G will isomorphic to A B. A direct sum B. Okay, so this is the proof is very simple. You just construct the isomorphism map of this to map to G, and you will find that you need all these properties. But let's say I already know G is abelian, right? So when G is abelian, then normal is proved. So special case when G is abelian, then AB equals to BA is true. So I only need to check that AB equals to G and A intersection B is identity. That would be enough. Okay, so I want to ask why this is true. Why this is true? Okay, so when G is P to the A, Q to the B, then I can use Stelo's theorem, right? So I know that there is this Stelo group with or there is a Stelo P group, P subgroup, and the order is P to A, and so let's say I call this GP1, which is a Stelo P group, and another subgroup Q to B, where I call it GP2. Okay, so I need to show that AB equals to G and A intersection B is E. So this is simple because these are also subgroup of G, right? But these P and Q are coprime to each other, so their only intersection must be identity. So this is trivial. The only thing I need to prove is their product must be G. So for this, I need to use Bezo's Bezo's identity. I think it's Bezo's. Yeah. Okay. So this is very simple. It says that if you have two integer GCD of A, B or coprime, then you can find x and y such that ax, these are all both integer, plus by equals to 1. So basically, if A and B are coprime, then you can find the integer solution, which should make you can find the x and y such that this is true. The proof is very, very elementary, so I leave as exercise. So now I take x, right, in G. Maybe I use G. Okay, so I take G in G. And I want to say that G can be written as the product of, maybe I use, I can, the G, because G is abelian, right? So I take element in G. I want to say that G can be written as A times B, where A belongs to GP1 and B belongs to GP2. Okay, so when it's abelian, and sometimes people use the addition because like A plus B is equals to B plus A. Okay, so maybe let's say so from here, right? I know that P to the A there exists the x plus Q to the B y equals to 1. Okay, so this is the integer solution. Okay, so if I take element G here, and so maybe let me just use this. I can write P to AX, so this is G plus GY. Okay, so I separate into two parts, GPAX plus GQBY. So G. So now each G is a sum of these two elements, right? So my question is that what's the order? What's the order of GPAX? Okay, so now I use a addition notation. So GPA, if I times Q to the B X, then becomes 0. Because this is the same as G, this, okay, so by the way, these are numbers. These are group, these are numbers. Right, so I get G, okay, I get Q to the B, P to the A, X, these are numbers, times G, which is 0. Because this is already the elements of the order of the group. So simply speaking, right, Gx equals to 0. Because now this is X plus X with G times. So G is the order of the, so every element in the finite group has when you add up to G times, it becomes 0. Okay, so 0, now I use 0, sorry. I use 0, this is 0 in the group. So this shows that P to the AX has order less or equal to Q to the B, and basically its order must be the factor of Q to the B. So P to X is basically inside G to the Q. Okay, because G to the Q, I mean G to the Q is the, yeah, okay, so G to the Q. And okay, so similarly, Q to the BX inside G to the P. Yeah, so this finish it. Okay, actually, okay, actually, there's maybe another quick proof is that if you notice, if you know A times B is basically AB intersection with A divided A intersection B. So this is the counting formula. And if this is true, then you can prove, because this is P to A, Q to B. So AB must be the same as the whole group. Maybe this proof is simple. Okay. Yes, I think so. Okay. So once you prove this, then you prove that you can separate each group into the P group. So finally, you need to show that each P group is a direct sum of sigma. And for this part, this is much more technical. So I will leave as next videos.